This conference will now be recorded.
Have you called him? Akhilesh?
I pinged him, didn't see any response. I'm just giving him a call.
Okay. So anyway, let's moving into our class. I already started recording on this one. Can upload once the session has done. Okay. So let's launch the Jupyter notebook. So control statements, right? Oh shit. Okay. Did you got the logic of the how the while is working? Right? So we've seen some programs. Srilekha and Pavani and Akhilesh, have you done these two programs?
I did them.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Now let's talk about for loop. So when it comes to the for loop, which is not working on the a condition actually. Okay. So let me consider we have some kind of group of elements. So this is my group. It might having the some 10 number of elements are there. Okay. So element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4, element 5, and something like there are no 10 elements are there. Okay. So I want to repeat the loop actually. Okay. So with help of the for loop, see this is the group you should give you as input for the for. Okay. Then the for it can be repeat the task. So how many number of elements here, that many times this particular task can be executed. Okay. So the for loop, it's if you want to work for loop, then make sure that you should have some group of okay, some group. So you should give the group as an input for this particular for loop. So in this particular group, how many number of elements we have it, then that many times the loop can be repeated actually. Okay, this is the exactly the for loop can work. Is it clear my point? So let me take a small example. I have a list, so which may have some elements, and so here how many elements are there? Here how many elements are there? Here we have the 6 elements are there, right? So when we have a 6 elements in this particular okay list, I would like to give you as input for the syntax for this one is where for and followed by the variable name and followed by the in keyword, and we should give you some group here. Okay, so here A is containing some multiple elements, so this is the for loop can be repeated. So how many number of elements is there in this particular group? Okay, for each and every iteration, okay, so it has to go for printing the hello. Okay, so let me go for the print some else block. So for example, see here what could be the output here. So here hello is printing. So here we have the 6 elements are there in the CA, so 6 times it can be printing. Okay, see, and for example So instead of the var, we can use anything here. Okay. So even you're getting the same result. Then what is the use of this particular really? So in right side, you should give you some group of elements. Then how many number of elements are there in this particular group? That many times the for loop can be repeated. Okay. And if all iterations are done, so if six iterations are done, then else can be executed, right? But what is the use of this left side of this particular variable? Here also you given some variable name, and here also you given some variable name, right? So what could be use of this one? So for understanding this one, so you just know this small example before we are discussing about what is the use of that particular variable. Note this example. For loop, which is a very similar, which is not similar to the while. So while is depending on the condition, but for which is not depending on the condition. The for loop can be repeated. It depends upon number of elements in this given group of elements. Guys, if it is done, please let me know.
I'm done.
Yeah, done.
Okay, let's discuss what could be the use of this variable. So you can define any variable left side of the in keyword or in between the for and in keywords. So this variable which is always pointing the one element from this particular group. For first iteration, it will be pointing the first element. For second iteration, for second element, it is pointing. This is really will be pointing the third element for third iteration. For fourth iteration, fourth element, fifth iteration, fifth element, sixth iteration, sixth element, right? For seventh iteration, it's not possible to, no, which is not possible to there is no seventh element, so that it has to be stopped, so that particular situation else can be executed, right? So let me go for execute the same program, but instead of printing the hello this time, would like to go for print the variable. What could be the what could be the var is storing for every iteration, of this particular for loop, which is pointing the one element from this particular group. First iteration 12 element, 12 second iteration second element, third iteration third element, fourth iteration fourth element, fifth iteration fifth element, and sixth iteration sixth element. For storing the seventh element, we don't have any element, then the for loop can be a stop, right? If the for loop was failed, then I mean for loop is it's not if the var is unable to update, then that particular situation else can be executed. Note this program. If it is done, please let me know, guys.
I'm done.
Okay, now so take a small example. Here I just want to introduce a function. The name of the function is the range function. So range is a function. It can help you to generating some arithmetic elements. Okay. For example, if I'm giving the range is 10, which means that which is generating the 0 to 9 elements. So if you given a single element, then the starting value is 0, and it could be stop at and so this number minus 1. Okay. So for example, I would like to start, I don't want to start from the 0. I want to start from some number, and I want to stop in somewhere else. Okay. For example, I have to start with 10 and I want to stop at 21. So this particular situation, which is starting with 0 and till you given a stop index, stop element is 21, right? So 21 minus 1, it's a 20. So it is generating the elements are 10 to 20 actually, but for this particular example. Okay. First element is the starting element, and second element is the stop element. So next one is a range. So range of some and you given a 6 here. So for example, so which means which is starting with a 3, because of you given us my start element is 3, and it has to stop before 14, and for every next element which is 6 actually. The difference between the successive elements are 6. So 3 plus 6, it's a 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 plus 6 is 21. 21 plus 6 is 27. 27 plus 6 33. 33 plus 6 39. So 39, which is less than the 40. So that's the reason we are going to be accessing this arithmetic element actually. That is the use of the range function. Okay. So if you want to be repeat the loop with help of the for loop, and how many times you want to repeat it, that's simply we can use the range function. For example, I want to repeat the task 10 times actually. Okay. 10 times I want to repeat the task. Then we just use the for I in range of, we can use any. If I'm giving the 10, then which means that the loop which can be repeating the 10 times. So whatever the task you're defining inside of the for, it can be repeated the 10 times because of the for loop. Okay. So in for loop, we are using the range function. Because of that range function, so any kind of condition, so how many times we want to repeat it, just simply we can use the range function of that particular value, then the task can be repeated that many times actually. Okay, that is the use of the range function. For example, whether it is really repeating the 0 to 9 or not, if you want to know it, then simply whatever the variable you given for the I or before the in, then I want to print the value of I, which is 0 to 9. Okay, so I value is a 0 because of you started with 0 and you should stop 0 minus 1, it's a 9. Okay, next one is, for example, here I can mention like 21. Then this situation which is starting with 0, sorry 10, and it has to stop at 21 minus 1, 20. Okay, and meanwhile we can use the range team. Every 6 element I want to be access it, then 10, 16, and 22, 28 plus 34. 34 plus 6, it's a 40. 40 could be, it's not less than the 40. Okay, so that's the reason condition false, or else the loop was false. If the loop unable to execute for the next element, then automatically else can be executed. Okay, so just note this example with range function. Yes, if it is done, please let me know. None?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's do a small program. Write a program. So find the factorial of a number. So with help of the for loop. So how can you find the factorial, right? So you can take the fact is default, it's a 1. Okay. So here we just give you a number which is started with 1 and it has to stop at number plus 1. So we need to stop at n. For that one, we should give you n plus 1 as your stop element. Okay. So here n you should consider from the user. So enter n. So this is the n can be taken by given by user, and the for loop is repeating from the 1 to till that number. For every iteration, the fact if which is updated with the multiplication of the previous fact and no and I value of I. Okay. So at end of this for loop, okay, it has if all iterations are done, then for loop can be the else block can be executed. So here the fact is if I enter the 5, then the value of the fact is 120. Okay. So if I enter the 10, the value of the fact is it's a 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into and so on till 9, right? So that is the value of that's the way you can able to find the factorial of a number with the help of the for loop, right? So just note this example. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now this time I want to find I just want to introduce two more keywords. One is the break keyword. So break is the keyword. It can help you to stop the loop in the middle, to 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 stop the loop in the middle. Okay, even it has to repeat some number of iterations, but in the middle of it's the middle of that particular loop only. I want to be break. I want to stop that particular loop. For that one, we can use the break keyword. Okay. So here my condition is write a program. Um, just we can use the write a program. Write a program to stop the loop. To stop the loop when when the group having even numbers. The group having the even numbers. So until even number encounter, okay, so it feel like it's odd numbers only. So if you are facing, if you got at least one number is the even number, then it has to stop. Okay. So in the fourth element, we have the even number. Even after the fourth element, so in the after the fourth element, there are two more odd numbers are there, right? So for I in range, so if even number is uncounted, then I have to stop the loop. So I If it is a percentile of 2 equal to 0, then okay, I just use the break. If I'm using the break, if the break keyword is executed, then it can be stopped that particular loop. Okay, so if in the middle of iterations, okay, if for loop is break in the middle of it, then the else block it won't executed. Task done. Okay, see in the middle of the for loop only, okay, in the middle of the for loop only, the for loop was broken. Okay, so because of that, one else is not executed. Okay, so here my condition is when even number is uncounted in loop or in a block or a group, okay, then I should stop my loop actually. That's my condition. So because of that, one else is not executed. For example, here I don't have any number is odd in my group, then all iterations of for can be executed successfully. At least one time, if the break is executed, then the loop can be stopped in the middle of it. Okay, note this example. Okay, I think everyone is done. Now I just want to introduce one more keyword, which is the continue keyword. So continue keyword, which is not stopping the loop, it just skip the iteration, skip the present iteration or current iteration. Okay, skip the current iteration and then continue the next iteration, continue the next one. That is the use of the continue keyword. Okay, so here we have some group which may have the combination of even numbers and odd numbers. Okay, we are not stopping actually, so write a program to access only even numbers, sorry, odd numbers. So even if you got an even number in your group, then it won't access actually. Okay, it has to access only odd numbers. In this particular group, everyone is odd number, so that the loop was executed with, okay, this is the if is not executed at least one. Okay, so every time the if condition was failed. For example, intentionally in the fourth element I given an even number. Okay, and so in a seventh element also, no, even number only. So this particular situation, what happens if the continue is executed? Once the continue is executed, even we might have some statements to be executed in the current iteration, it can be stopped and it will go for the next iteration. Okay, so in this particular group, it having the two even numbers. Except those even numbers, it is accessing only odd number. So here the loop was not dropped in the middle, which is just skipped some portion of operations. That is the use of the continue keyword. Note this example. Done?
Yep, I'm done.
Okay. So we need to understand one more keyword in control statement, which is the pass keyword. So this pass keyword, it can help you to create some dummy blocks. It's not loops, dummy blocks. The block, it can be anything, either if or else, if and else, or function, class, or whatever it is. So if a block, it doesn't have any statements, then it could be an error. Okay, for example, you have if, and you need to start some you need to write some statements, but I don't have any statements, then it could be indentation error. So to overcome this kind of blocks errors, so if the block I should create, but I don't need to be execute any statement, then we can use the pass keyword. So when I'm using the pass keyword, so the syntax wise it was correct. Syntax wise it was correct. Syntax wise it was correct, but the block, it doesn't have any statements. So if you're not written, then syntax wise it's not, sorry, if the block, it doesn't have any statements, then syntax wise it's wrong. To overcome that one, we can use the pass keyword. Okay, so this pass keyword we can use in loops, we can use in blocks, and if blocks or else blocks, if and else block, functions blocks, or else classes blocks, the if any block actually, dummy block, you're just creating some dummy blocks. Okay, and most of the time this pass keyword will help you to generating some delay. Okay, so write a program, print hello with some delay. So if you want to generating some delay, then we can use the pass keyword. Okay, see, for example, I have to repeat the 10 times. I have to repeat the hello 10 times. Okay, for every hello, so in between the hello and hello, you should maintain some delay. So here I don't have any delay, so I want to be create the delay actually. So if you want to be creating the delay, so simply what you should do after you printing the hello, then we can iterate some number of times in range of, okay, for example, here we can give you a 10,000 or 1 lakh iterations, then you can just use the pass. So here also it's a speedness, it's little, the speed is more so that we are getting the span of time. For example, if you increase one more zero, so after printing the hello, which is waiting some time, right? Which was waiting some time or not? So this kind of operations, this kind of things we can performing with help of the pass keyword. Just note this example.
So the main difference between continue and pass is like to execute the code, even if you have an error, we use pass. But if you have any error, we
No,
can't use continue. Is
no,
that
no,
right?
no, 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 not like this. So pass just creating the blocks. So even after you are using the pass, if you want to write anything, you can. Okay, you can write it actually. Okay,
Okay.
so here I also printing, right? So which not continue. Continue, if the continue has executed, so what are the statements are there after the continue? It won't execute it, but here the pass can be executed. Okay, for example, okay, so here I should create some dummy block, but after we used the pass keyword, if you want to write any statement also, it doesn't it won't make you an error. Okay, it won't make you an error. Just a pass is a keyword, just creating the dummy block. Even you given a pass keyword, but it is not a dummy, then it's not a problem for us. But if the block is dummy, if the block is dummy, if you don't have any statement, then it could be an error if without pass. that's not much important actually. So when we want to create some dummy blocks, then we can use the pass keyword. That's it. Don't think too much about it. Okay, done.
Yeah, okay.
Just note this example. So how many people have started working with HackerRank? Pavani?
I did. I got 2 stars the other day.
Okay, so I need more stars from that one. So that kind of concepts we already done. Okay,
Okay.
so concentrate on HackerRank. So it will help you to improve
Okay.
your coding skills.
Okay.
And once if you're habituated with the HackerRank, then we need to concentrate on other websites like HackerHealth and LeetCode. So those websites are giving a lot of beneficiary for us to to prepare for interviews like Google, Facebook, or Amazon, something like that. Okay. So done. So guys, as of now, we've done the functions concepts, we've done the control statements, we've done the operators, right?
Yep. We finished all those.
Okay. So one thing you need to remember, when you are writing the program, make sure that the structure of the program is Python program. Python a program structure. So what could be the structure of the Python? First, we can defining the user definitions, user defined functions. Okay. So something like this, we can defining the thousands of functions. It's up to your choice. The program it may contains the it's a number of functions. Okay. And meanwhile we can create this many functions. Now we have a block. The block is main block. So the main block, which is this one, underscore underscore main underscore underscore. So here we can use the no we can call this some, we can use some statements. Okay, so this is the block is always true. If it is true, it can be executed. Okay, if block actually the starting entry point here, the reason is that in Python we don't have any kind of main function. So default it will start execution from the first line onwards. So because of that one, if you want to defining any user defined functions before execution of the statements only, you can define. So here I defining some user defined functions, and the main code we can start writing inside of the main block. So this is always true, default it's a true. So you can write some statements. The statements can be executed. If you want to call these functions, we can call from here itself, or else from the so you can call from anywhere, it doesn't matter. So this is usually the Python program structure. Okay, just note this one. Done.
Yep.
So that's for today's class. So make sure that you can start working on the hacker rank. Okay, so everyone should have minimum 5 stars. So tomorrow's session, what we will do, we can start working on the modules and packages concepts. So we can click on the Python. So this loops we done, different else operators, divisions, this write function, print functions. So everything we done it. So try to be work on this particular hacker rank and make sure that you should have the minimum 5 stars. You should have it actually this weekend. With this weekend. Okay. So start working on this hacker rank, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.